Welcome to Train Up a Child page. We're going to learn computer. We're going to break it into different topics, but for starters, we want to make an introduction of what a computer is, to know the parts of a computer. Then from there, we shall get to have different topics, and then we proceed. Now, what is a computer? A computer is an electronic device that accepts input and gives output. In other words, you give something to the computer and it gives you something in return. For example, when you're typing, let's say on your computer typing, now the result you get, the output you get are the words you've typed. So after printing, what you see is the output. So a computer is an electronic device that accepts input and gives output. And we're going to look at some parts of a computer. Now, as you can see, this is Train Up a Child, yeah? So this is a smart board and this is a laptop. So whatever is happening on the laptop is what will be displayed. And we're going to look at some parts that make up a computer. And there are very many different types. So as I select them here, you'll be able to see them on the screen, yeah? Now the very first part that makes up a computer, we have this part, a monitor. I'm sure you can see it very well. The first part we're looking at is a monitor. Now, the use of this monitor is to display work that's being done on a computer. It's like a TV, or you have your TV on connected to a decoder. So it's the same thing as a monitor. So the monitor is to display the work that is put on a computer. Then we have this part, CPU. This is with the old generations. Of course, with the new generations, most of us no longer see these CPUs, but a CPU is a central processing unit. This is where all the commands and the processes take place for the monitor to display. So this is called a CPU. But if you have a laptop like this, so this is complete. You don't have to have a CPU. Everything is inbuilt to have this. Then we're going to see another part. This part. We have also a mouse. Now, with most of these parts that I'm displaying for you, these are parts that are found on a desktop computer. Oh, sorry for that. These are parts that are found on a desktop computer. But with a laptop, you don't have a mouse, we have a touchpad. It's a touchpad. But with the desktop computer or the big computers, we have a mouse. Then we proceed to look at this part. This part is called a keyboard. Those that have seen the big computers, you've seen all these parts before. This is called a keyboard. And then, as I was saying, now, when you look at a laptop, the laptop has all these parts all in one. So the keyboard is attached to its CPU, to the touchpad, which is our mouse on a desktop computer. So everything on the laptop is put together. Also have parts as these. These are power cables or power cords. They connect the computers to power. So there are usually two on the CPU and on the monitor. But if you have a laptop, of course, this just comes with a charger. And once it's full, you just unplug and use. Then we have this part also. This is called an HDMI cable. Now, this HDMI cable connects a CPU to a monitor. There are these new CPUs and new monitors that have provision of HDMI. So this connects from the CPU to the monitor. So to have an image displayed on your monitor, there has to be a connection between the CPU and the monitor. And we said this right here is the CPU, and this right here is the monitor. So there has to be a connection between the two of them. Then we have another part, the VGA cable. Most people are familiar with this. The VGA cable also connects the CPU to the monitor. So there are two ways of connecting a CPU to the monitor. We have a VGA cable and an HDMI cable. Now, there are types of computers that we have that do not require a CPU. For example, this. Now, this is called an all-in-one computer. An all-in-one computer means you have your monitor. Your monitor works as the CPU as well. All you have to do is plug the mouse and the keyboard and you're good to go, right? So this is different from a laptop. This is a desktop. The only difference is the CPU is part of the monitor, okay? Then the laptop, we have already seen how the laptop looks like. This very one that I'm using, this is also a laptop. Now, after understanding some of the parts of a computer, so we shall go ahead and get to see, have a small breakdown of the things we're going to look at. And some of the things we're going to look at, we shall introduce Microsoft Office. Now, when we talk about Microsoft Office is very, very broad. Under Microsoft Office, we have Microsoft Word, we have Microsoft Excel, we have Publisher, we have Access, we have PowerPoint, and then we have Paint for the beginners, kids of maybe P1, P2, and then other computer hacks as well. So for now, we're doing an introduction of computer. Thank you for joining. In the next video, we're going to pick out one of the Microsoft Office because we've said we're going to start with them. We shall pick one, I think Microsoft Word. Then we shall go into detail of how to use Microsoft Word. Thank you very much. Stay tuned, subscribe. Till next time, see you.